Hi guys, welcome to the Soul on Fire show. I am so excited to be here today because today is Wednesday and today we teach and we go deep into the emotional body today, and we're going to talk about your energetic fields and how it is connected to your emotional body. Thank you so much for being here on the live. Thank you so much for being here on the replay as well. We love you, you guys. Every viewer matters for us, and we are here to change your vibration to a higher frequency. And so on today's show, guys, what we are going to talk about is how your emotions are tied into your energetic fields. And so it's a big topic and it's super fun for me, at least because we're talking energetics, right? And when we're talking quantum mechanics, that's when I'm in my pocket, right? I'm a quantum energy trainer. And welcome. My name is Noelle Agape. I am a leading expert in health, wellness, and consciousness. I am a quantum energy trainer. I'm an NLP trainer and I'm a licensed counselor. And so we go deep into the depths of you to get you to the greatest version of you. So thank you so much for being here again. So on today's show, we are going to go deep into the energetic fields, into the quantum realm, and understanding what that means in your own emotional body. And so merging the 5D into the 3D basically is what we're going to talk about today, and how in the quantum fields, we live in a field of infinite possibilities, and how it affects your energetic systems. We'll go through your chakra systems and the core emotions within your chakra systems. We're going to talk about your divine feminine and your divine masculine energies. We're going to talk about the quantum and how things are actually developed in the quantum world before they actually show up in your reality. So here we talk vibration on this channel, and we're talking about merging in science and spirituality. So we go deep into your belief systems. We go deep into your thought patterns. We go deep into your body and how you're treating your body and your worth and how much you love yourself, and all of your belief systems that were created when you're a child. So we're going to start at the beginning of from 0 to 10. From 0 to 10, you have this beautiful gift of coming into this world from the 3D and from the 5D into the 3D. And so your soul chooses, right? Your soul comes in and says, okay, what we're going to do is I'm going to jump in and I'm going to experience this life to the fullest, right? And so when your soul makes that agreement to come in here, there are certain paradigms that you come in to heal, not just for you, but also for humanity as well. And so energetically, you come in with a predisposition of many energies that most don't even understand. They're like, well, why does this keep happening to me? And often they say, I don't understand because this isn't even my energy. So understanding your emotional and your energetic body, understanding that your soul's purpose and your soul contracts and your sacred contracts and your destiny will allow you to move into a better place, understanding that I work into the quantum fields. And so there is all time, space, and reality, right? And it is my belief that everything already exists, right? And so we create our own reality, meaning that we have to be a vibrational match to whatever we create in our world. So whatever is showing up in your so-called reality is really your energetic frequency that you're attached to. And so how do you know your frequency? It is truly by your emotional body. And how do you know your soul's purpose? And how do you know your soul's contracts? We're going to go all into that today. So stay tuned, guys, because we are going to talk quantum. We're going to go big into the quantum world. We're going to talk about how your energetic system actually matches your emotional body and how to adjust that and how to merge the science and spirituality of understanding the kinesiology of the neurolinguistics of your brain and what's going on in your belief systems and from childhood all the way to adulthood. So again, we're going to start from the beginning. And so at the beginning, you come in, and then once you jump in, you have this energetic paradigm, right? And so it's an energetic grid is what I call it. And so your energetic grid is a predisposition of what your soul has chosen to work on, your soul contracts that you come into this lifetime with. And so your soul contracts are just the lessons that you need to learn, moving past them, whether they're generational or whether they're ancestral. You choose to do those, right? The sacred contracts are a beautiful gift because that is your destiny. And so the void between your soul contracts and your sacred contracts is so tremendous, but that is the journey that you have come here to experience. So there's two different ways that you can experience and manifest, and that is through experience or it is through expansion. And so if you are not expanding your energetic fields and you're contracting your energetic fields, you will be in complete contraction, and then you can't be in expansion and contraction at the same time, right? So On this show today, we're going to talk about the specifics of how to get from where you are to where you want to be. Right. And so I know the deep quantum aspects of it and quantum mechanics aspects of it. I'm going to put it in layman's terms for you. Basically, you are an energetic match to everything that shows up in your life, and understand that you're an energetic match to everything that shows up in your life. And that's actually a big thing for most people to understand, is because they have to take accountability for their vibrational field. And when you take accountability for your vibrational field, you're actually working on your soul contracts. And so your soul contracts are the predispositions, the grid that you came into and you agreed to learn for your soul to expand into the next level of consciousness, right? And so consciousness is just that. It's consciousness, and it is infinite. It is an infinite field of possibilities. There's an infinite amount of information. There's an infinite amount of fields that you can tap into. It is my belief that every version of you already exists, and you get to merge with the reality of that. And those that know me know that I do deep, deep, deep inner soul work, but I do it on a daily basis too. And that's the best way to start. You have to start where you are. And if you don't start where you are, you're living in the past or you're projecting into the future. And so that's what they mean by being present. And when you understand that your energetic grid can actually be manipulated, right? And so the stories that you are telling yourself, the stories of I'm not worthy, I'm not good enough, or you have trouble in relationships, or you have trouble with money, or you're depressed, or you're anxious, it's in a certain part of your grid, your energetic grid, that may be attached to your mom, or it may be attached to your dad, or it may be attached to whoever it may be in your ancestral train. So with that being said, it's incredible because we get to, whether it's the spirituality piece where they believe it's energetic curses or ancestral trauma or whatever that may be, or the energetic science aspect of it where, energy never goes away. It just gets transmuted into something else. And so science and spirituality are actually the same. And then when you understand that you merge the two for your high level of consciousness, that's when you're in the pocket. And so how do you understand your emotional body, and how do you understand what it is teaching you and what it is showing you? So the patterns that show up in your life with different people in different circumstances that show up over and over and over again, those are the paradigms that are your belief systems in your body. Right? From 0 to 10, your brain is so malleable, and the neurolinguistics of your brain are actually literally like a sponge. And so something could have happened between really 0 and 7, but 0 and 10 is the buffer, right? And so something could have happened to you in your childhood where the 5 core beliefs is I'm not worthy, I'm not good enough, I'm not safe, secure, and protected, I'm not lovable, or I'm not whole and complete. They could be attached to abandonment. They could be attached to neglect. They could be attached to abuse, codependency. There's so many paradigms that they came for. But your soul came in here to learn that lesson and expand from that lesson. And once you guys understand that is the greatest thing in the world, is the contrast in your life is showing you your direction to expansion. So the anger, the hurt, the sadness, the guilt and shame, that's all, or the fear, that's all actually guiding you to your expansion. And so when you understand in your energetic grid that if you're in anger, you can't get to happiness, but it is the same frequency. And I'm going to say that again. If you're in anger, you can't get to happiness, but it is the same frequency, meaning that it is the same pole, just other end of the stick, right? And so you can't get there from there. Esther Hicks says that all the time. But what the most important thing to understand is that your soul agreed to this contract of expansion. So the contrast is in your contract. And that's a big thing to understand. So when you understand your soul agreed to it, this is a contrast in my life. I'm very angry right now. Oh, this is in my energetic grid. Let me work on my energetic grid. Why am I angry? Oh, this person triggered me. So an emotional trigger is actually, when you understand what an emotional trigger is, it is going back into your childhood and it's healing your inner child. Now, many, many, many people in today's society in personal development go in and heal the inner child. Yes, I'm a licensed counselor. We do that, but you don't stay there, right? You figure out as the observer who you are and you follow the pattern back oh, this happened with so-and-so. And this same thing happened and the same lesson happened with so-and-so. And not why is this happening to me, but the contrast is showing me the pattern. And when you understand the pattern, your thoughts become beliefs, your beliefs become patterns, and your patterns become your reality. And it's that simple. And when you understand the pattern that you're showing, that's when you can follow the trail back, right? And so this week, I was such a big week for me, and I needed to share it on my show because that's what I do. I experience life. I learn as a student in one breath and the teacher in the next. And so one of my dear friends, Amy, had her wedding this weekend, and I had this crazy stomach flu. When I tell you crazy, I mean, I was like debilitated. I had pains. It was, and I'm a health and wellness counselor. I don't really ever get sick. And I couldn't understand what was going on because it was right before her wedding. And then, I was trying to work it out where I was getting on the plane and trying to get on the plane. And, it didn't work out. And then once my stomach finally felt a little better, it was like blockages after blockages after blockages of me getting on that plane. And so I believe that whatever, sometimes there's divine protection or there's a divine lesson in there. So what did I do? The moment that I knew I couldn't get on that plane, from the second that I knew her wedding, was going to be taking place without me, I went in and I did the inner work and I took accountability and I said, okay, what is going on here? Like, I need to understand what is going on. I went into meditation. I went into my energetic fields. I went into every single one of my chakras and my aura. And I worked in the aura and in the energetic field because I was angry. I was sad. I was hurt that I couldn't spend the day with one of my closest friends. And from that space, when I was in my energetic fields, in my chakra system, in my aura, I got the messages. Okay, so this is not about not being able to go. It was a deeper wound of being terrified of being married. I've been divorced before. And my dad was an abusive alcoholic. My grandfather died in my arms in front of me, who was my hero from my dad. Then I married someone and divorced it. So I had this whole storyline leading all the way back to my dad being an abusive alcoholic, right? So you guys know I'm in a 7-year relationship with a beautiful, beautiful human. And we were off and on for a very long time. And we were not talking at the moment of the wedding, right? So I was going to be going to the wedding by myself. And then on top of it, I was not with him and I had to go to a wedding, right? And so the inner work that I had to do this week, and I'm telling you guys this story so you can relate to it, to understand that, 20 years in this profession, I am a quantum energy trainer, and it still happens on a daily basis. I still do the work. So I went in and I found, that I had the fear of intimacy and fear of getting married from all of the things. But then I went even deeper, guys. And it was like my abandonment wound from my dad, right? I mean, I'm 50 years old and this came up, an abandonment from my father when he left, right? When I was 2 years old and my mom kicked him out of the house because he was an abusive alcoholic. And really, she was saving us and rescuing us. But my 2-year-old child was like, no, my dad abandoned me. Right. So I had to actually face a massive reality that my dad, an abandonment, and my grandfather dying in my arms and a divorce actually stopped me, 50 years old, from going to one of my closest friends' weddings because emotionally I couldn't handle actually going to a wedding at that space. Why? Because it was ready to come up and to be cleared. So your subconscious will never allow the energies to come up until you are actually ready to release it. So I did the inner work, and I do the inner work on a daily basis, but I went deep into my energetic fields and I did a chakra clearing, I did an aura clearing, but I went even deeper than that. I went into the quantum realm and I said, okay, there is a version of me that's already married. There's a version of me that exists. There's a version of me. And the first thing I did was actually in the quantum realm, I apologized to Amy for not being there. And I talked to her energetically, right? Because communication, we are all energy, and communication happens on the energetic realm before it actually happens in your reality. So the first thing I did was I had a beautiful conversation with her. I shared a moment with her. And then from that space, I actually energetically spoke with my partner, and I had a conversation about everything that was going on. But then I had a conversation with my inner child. And then even deeper, I had a conversation with the fear. and with the anger and the abandonment and my father who is passed, right? My dad died when I was 21 years old. He's passed on, but I had a conversation with him. When I tell you guys, it was less than an hour, maybe two, that Mark and I got, we had 3 days before that, we saw each other and we had a fight. And then we truly just, and God knows what's going to happen. It's a beautiful journey and we're just experiencing the moment. But this week has been magical with us, and it's the best that it's ever been with us. And not to say that I don't know what's going to happen, right? We're going to live in the moment. We're going to be in the moment, but we are in a better space than we were. He's in a better space. His work was like fantastic this week. He just texted me this morning. He's like, I feel like I woke up as $1 million today, right? When you do the energetic work, it's also working on the people that are in your lives that are attached to that same grid within you. I actually moved Mark from the space of the wounded masculine, right? The wounded masculine in my energetic grid. I moved it from there to the divine masculine. I moved him into the box of the divine masculine. And I, again, don't have any idea where we're going to go, but I love him tremendously. We've known each other for 7 years, and he's been wonderful this week, guys. That's how energy works. I dealt with my emotional body, but I kept asking questions. I didn't stop at anger. I didn't stop at fear. I didn't stop at sadness. What I did do was took accountability for my actions and my emotions, and I transformed the energy that was there from my dad's abandonment, right? But then it went even further, and it was my dad's dad abandoning him, and my dad's family, and that's why my dad was abusive. And so in the quantum realm, guys, all of the answers are there, and all of the solutions are there. You just cannot get to the solution from the problem. So when you separate the solution and the problem, that's where you start to merge the science and spirituality. When you understand the contrast is teaching you, and you are the student in one breath and the teacher in the next, and you learn from the contrast, right? And again, I have no idea. And in the past, I would have put an expectation on this week and been like, oh my gosh, that's it. We're back together. We're getting married. Today, I was like, no, we're good. Like, I don't know what's coming, and I'm okay in acceptance of today and the greatness that we had this week. But I do have to say that the energy's changed. And when you understand that, guys, that you create your reality, there is nothing happening in your outer world that is not going on in your inner world. Whether it is sickness, my physical sickness, my body was so shut down, but so my soul was so done with that contract, right? My soul was so done with being, afraid of intimacy. My soul was so done with that it shut my body down to learn the lesson. Then I got sad because it was one of my dear friends. Then I got angry, and then I was emotional. Had I just left it at my emotional body instead of gone into my energetic body and done the work on a deeper level with my soul and my energy, it would have just stayed at anger. It would have just stayed at sadness. And I would have been like, oh, that really sucks. I missed my friend's wedding. I could have gone into victim. I didn't. I took accountability. I apologized to her in person and energetically. I apologized to myself. I apologized to Mark. I did the inner work, guys. When you do the inner work, your life shifts. I promise you that. I promise you that when you understand that we are all energetic beings and we are coming from pure divinity, God, source, the universe, the energy that creates worlds is inside of you. When you understand that you get to tap into that energy and go in and co-create with God, source, the universe, your higher power, your higher self, whatever you believe it to be, that's when you dance with the universe, guys. And when you don't put expectations on, and when you don't have paradigms, or when you face your fears, and when you go in to things that are hard as hell, and you say, I'm going to get to a better vibration. I'm going to get to a better solution. I'm going to get to the energy of the solution. How do you get to the energy of the solution? You do the work. I'm going to tell you right now, it's not going to just show up and be like, oh my gosh, guess what? Noelle did all of the work. Yes, and I've been doing this work for 20 years. So sometimes when you are doing things on a regular basis, the electromagnetic fields have so much momentum that it does show up. But I do have to understand that there's a gap and a time space. And we're going to talk about the gap and the void in the next segment, guys. But when you understand that everything about your emotional body is teaching you in contrast or expansion, whether you're contracted, you can't expand. You cannot get there from there. If you are contracted in any lower vibration, you cannot get to anything other than the vibration that you're at. You have to go in. You have to face these core soul contracts, beliefs. I'm going further than the NLP, and I'm going now into the quantum energy trainer that I am. The NLP is I'm not worthy, I'm not good enough, I'm not safe, secure, and protected. And from 0 to 10, that's what your mind thinks. On a quantum level, your soul agreed to it for expansion. Why? To get you to a higher level of consciousness, Christ consciousness, moving beyond Christ consciousness and embodying divinity. That's why we're here. We're here for that. We will be right back, guys. And in just a moment, when we come back, I'm actually going to tell you how to work in the energetic fields and your emotional body, and showing you the depths of what it is to work into the quantum world, working with your divine masculine and your divine feminine energies. Today, we are going to talk about massive, massive things that will change your life. Tangible tools that will change your life. I promise you guys. Today's show is sponsored by my company, Noelle Agape Global, and we just change humanity by changing your vibration, and that's what we do. It is our goal to help the masses of millions to change their vibration to love, to wisdom, to higher vibrations and frequencies. We will be right back, guys. Welcome back, guys. Thank you so much for being on the Soul on Fire show. My name is Noelle Agape, and I'm a leading expert in health, wellness, and consciousness. Thank you for those on the live, and thank you for those that are here on the replay. Today, we are talking deep into the quantum realms. We are talking about how your emotional body and your energetic body actually merge into what your reality is. And so what does that look like? It is called the electromagnetic fields. And your electromagnetic fields are your electro, which is your thoughts, right, that become patterns, that become beliefs, that become your reality. The magnetic field is your emotions. And so your heightened sense of emotion is truly your electromagnetic field. So the more that you think about something, if you're thinking about fear often, and you're thinking about fearing something, and you're angry at something, and it has momentum, and the more momentum it has, the fear is going to show up in your life in some way to teach you, that show you that you can have a different version of you. So from that space, the magnetic fields, this is your emotional body, right? So your thoughts are your energy, and your magnetic fields are your energy as well. And when you merge the two and you have heart and mind coherence, that is when you manifest the life of your dreams. So your left and your right side of your brain have to actually be in harmony with your heart. And when they are in harmony with your heart and your brain are in coherence, that's when you truly, truly tap into magic. And that is the miracle vibration, right? Is when your heart is in alignment with your highest good, your brain is in alignment with your highest good, your body's in alignment with the highest good. And that's something what the athletes call the flow or the zone. The zone and the flow you can actually tap into. And this is what I teach, guys. I teach you how to tap into your energetic fields and use your energetic fields as momentum, the electromagnetic, right? Use the thoughts and change your thoughts. And that's really a lot of the mindset stuff. And that's the NLP stuff, the work that we do. And change your thoughts as well as moving into the magnetic fields. And this is where the fun pocket, guys, is. This is where you get to manipulate time and space. This is where you get to go into the energetic fields. You get to change your reality. I believe that there are multiple realities that are happening all at once. The past, present, and future exists all in once. I believe that when you do the inner work, that things show up for you, right? It is my belief system that the universe has your back. It is my belief system that the universe loves you and but without question wants you to be better. So, but the universe speaks frequency, guys. It does, and God, source, the universe, your highest self, it speaks frequency. It does not say, you can't sit there and say, and how you pray. This is very important. You can't say, "Dear God, please help me because I'm so wounded and I'm a victim and everything is happening to me. And I promise more things will happen to you." When you say, "All right, God, source, universe, I know that you're coming through me and you're teaching me this lesson. Thank you for showing me this lesson. What can we do together? What do I need to do to take accountability? What do I need to do to recalibrate my energies and my emotions? How do I feel better about the situation? How do I get to acceptance in the situation? How do I get to forgiveness in the situation? How do I, once I'm at radical forgiveness, move into the vibration of love? Move it in from hate to love. You have to move up the vibrational fields. Starting at fear and shame, guilt and shame are the lowest vibrations, right? The lowest, and you can actually inherit your emotions from your family. So guilt and shame around money, around love, around relationships, around, we want two things in this life. We want to experience and expand, and we want to love, and we want, the necessities of life. Being in the 3D is very, very different than the 5D, but the 5D version of you already exists. It will not show up in your reality until you are a perfect match to that vibration. So how do you change your frequency? It's just like a radio, and people say this all the time. You are a radio frequency, guys. What are you emanating out into the world? I am emanating love, and I have a lot of work to do always, because I'm always doing the work. You are never done. And I have done so much work on myself, right? And still to this day, like I'm a master in my craft and I can change lives like that. And I still had things that I was working on this week, right? My deepest fear of abandonment came out. I'm 50 years old and 20 years of doing this. It came out just this week. So be kind to yourself. How do you soften? And this was my conversation with Mark last week, was just softening your emotions, right? When you're so rigid with your emotional body, your energetic body is going to show up as rigidity. How does that show up physically? You can be slouched, you can be contracted, your body will show you, you will get sick, you can be, slunched over. There's so many ways that you can show how your energetic aura is coming out into the world, right? When you put your shoulders back, how does that feel? When you start to think, lift your head a little bit. When you start to think about the greatest version of you and who you are and what you want to be, how does that feel? Does it feel contracted? Or does it feel like you're in expansion, right? And those of you that know me know that I travel all over the world and I have wellness retreats. And part of my wellness retreats, because it's me, is nature and adventure, right? So we meditate and we go deep into the quantum realms on the retreats, but we also go into nature and we also do adventure. Why? Because that triggers your neural net pathways to say, oh my gosh, it's time to do something that I have never done before. I'm really scared right now. So let's face that fear. And we move into, literally, we face all of your fears in the retreats, but not just by sitting and meditating, by moving your body, by eating healthy, by doing things, because your body is a physical being, right? And so your body needs physical things to move the energy. You can't just sit and meditate and expect things to happen. You have to, one, take action, and two, you have to understand the 5D is yes, you need to tap into that energy. But to bring it into the 3D, you need to move what's in your body. So energy gets contracted and it gets stuck. That's stuck in your body, right? Is it stuck in your spleen, which is your life force energy, in your prana? How is that? Is it stuck in your chakra system, which is your spine, that is expansion? Is it stuck in your neural net pathways? Where is the energy? So I want you to, next time that you see a pattern in your life, whether it is in a relationship or an emotional trigger or something like that, I just want you to just take 5 seconds. 5 seconds. That's all I'm asking. Take a few breaths in and count to 5. And when you count to 5, I want you to breathe. And then I want you to say, okay, what is this teaching me? And then I want you to go even further than that. And I want you to see the pattern in your life. Oh, wow. I actually have done this with many people before. Oh, wow. When I get triggered, it triggers my abandonment wound. And I had this conversation with Mark, and I just said, I get triggered when he leaves. I get triggered into the abandonment mode, and he gets, he needs to be shut down, and I need to express it. Understanding each other's emotional, energetic bodies is tremendous, right? Respecting and honoring where they are, because there is nothing that is happening with anyone or anything that is not your vibrational perception of what is going on. So your perception is your reality, not your reality. Reality is truly an illusion. And guys, your reality is actually your past energy. I'm going to say that again. Your reality that you are living right now is the thoughts, the beliefs, the patterns that you have bought into in the past, right? So in this moment in time, and in this, yes, we have to tap into the future energies and connect to the future energies. And that's where I play, right? I play in the quantum realms, and I love to collapse time and space and time travel and feel into the realms of, the different realms that are out there. But you can't live there either. You have to live in this 3D body. So my clients say to me all the time, Noelle, how do I merge the two? How do I merge? I feel like I have two different worlds. I go into meditation and I can't feel my toes. And it is the greatest thing. It's a magic carpet ride. And then I come into my reality and my reality sucks, right? So what's going on there is that your electromagnetic fields and your heart and mind coherence are not in order. Your divine feminine and your divine masculine energies are out of balance, right? And so I want you to ask yourself, the next time something happens, I want you to look at your energetic grid. And everyone can do this. You don't need, I'm clairvoyant, clairaudient, and I'm clairmedium, and I can see energy, right? Yet you can feel your own grid. And I promise you, you can. You can feel your own emotions. I want you to ask yourself where the anger is. And I want you to ask yourself where your parents are on that grid. And I want you to ask yourself, even beyond your parents on that grid, going even further, where is that person that just triggered you on your grid? I promise you they might be connected to your dad or your mom, or the dad's abandonment issues, or your mom's abandonment issues. When you understand that you can manipulate and move them, I literally energetically moved Mark from the wounded masculine, which I had him in for 7 years, guys, 7 years. Now, don't get me wrong, we've had a wonderful relationship, but we've been off and on for 7 years, and really just kind of this very, casual relationship for 7 years. And it was because of me and my fear of intimacy. And I'll take full ownership of that. But I moved him into the divine masculine in my energetic fields. I moved my dad into the divine masculine, into my energetic fields. I had a conversation with both of them energetically. This is extremely out there today, and I know that. But if you can click off if it doesn't resonate with you. But if it does resonate with you, please understand that when you move the energy, the people around you shift. Mark has been wonderful this week. I'm telling you, probably the best Mark that I've ever seen, right? And so, every single morning I've been waking up and just sending him love and saying, I love you, honey. Oh my gosh, you are the divine masculine. I don't have, with no expectation, no promise, nothing, just you're in charge of your emotions. I'm in charge of my emotions. But what an amazing divine masculine you are. How's he showing up? He's showing up as this beautiful divine masculine. Why? Because that's the space that I'm creating for him. When you don't have space for expansion in your life, that's when contraction happens, right? When you're in old stagnant energy and you're not willing to change, you're not willing to move the vibration, you're not willing to move your body, you're not willing to understand that every organ holds and stores emotions. And that could be from the rest of your entire life. It's storing, it could be ancestral. It could be generational and generational and generational anxiety that has come through you, and you are here to break that paradigm. Only you know that, and only your soul knows that, and your soul contracts. You guys, if you want to learn more about that, then I have a whole course on soul contracts and sacred contracts and understanding how to work with soul contracts and sacred contracts and soul mates and divine loves and all of this stuff. It's a whole course on noelleagape.com. But for this episode, we're talking about the emotional body and understanding how important it is to the energetic body, because it is literally your guidance system. When you understand that your emotional guidance system is your greatest gift, it shows you exactly where your vibratory fields are, exactly where you are in the vibratory fields. It shows you where your energy is. It shows you where you're depleted. It shows you where you are in expansion. You may be in a crazy expansion in one area of your life and complete contraction of the other energy of life. It is never done. You are constantly learning. It is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful journey. So from that space, what do? You stop. You take 5 seconds when you get triggered. You write down, even go even further, you write down what the emotion was to you. What did it mean to you? You go into meditation, you find out what it meant to you, why it meant to you, go all the way back to your childhood, connect it to your childhood, look at your energetic grid. Where is the divine feminine and the divine masculine energies? I'm going to talk in the next segment deeply about the divine feminine and the divine masculine and how it affects your emotional grid when it's out of alliance and what it looks like. Guys, so stay tuned, because we have more energies to talk about. It's so important to understand your energetic grid, your emotional body, your intellectual guidance system. That right, your body is so intelligent. I got sick. I was literally had a stomach flu, and it wasn't a stomach flu. It was literally my fear of intimacy, my fear of abandonment. Coming out 7 years later into a relationship, and 50 years later after I've done all this work, but it was time for it to be released. It was time to not be contracted anymore. I've done that much work that my soul was like, okay, you're done with this contract. And then my sacred contract, when you move into your sacred contract, that's your destiny. So your destiny is who? Right, my divine love. Then that's the next step. And however that shows up, God, source, the universe will bring that to me, however that shows up. That's the next step moving into it, right? I have to be a perfect match to those energies before that shows up in my life. I'm constantly doing the inner work, right? This week was a big, huge week for me. When you constantly do the work, the electromagnetic fields have momentum. And when you are perfect match to that momentum, good, bad, or indifferent, it will show up as your reality, right? So guys, we are going to take a quick break, and we are going to literally just come back and talk about the divine masculine and the divine feminine, how that actually affects your electromagnetic fields when it's off. If you don't know how to clear your chakras, I have plenty of chakra clearings on noelleagape.com. I'll actually link them below. You can go through your chakras and understand it. Working in your aura, if you're an empath, is one of the most important things that you can do. Your aura is your energetic home, and it stores your belief systems and your paradigms. And if you work in your aura, that is a perfect way to clear out all your belief systems and everything as well. So we will be right back, guys. We're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to go into the divine masculine, divine feminine energies. We'll be right back, guys. Hi guys, welcome back. Thank you so much for being on the Soul on Fire show with me. My name is Noelle Agape. I'm a leading expert in health, wellness, and consciousness. Today we are going deep into the energetic quantum realm. We're understanding how the emotional body and the quantum realms and the energetic bodies merge into your reality. What we talked about in the first segment was understanding your emotional body and what that is teaching you and showing you and guiding you, and your emotional triggers, and how that actually is going into your subconscious and unconscious wounds that need to be healed. In the second segment, what we talked about is understanding that it goes even deeper than that, and there is stored energy within your energetic fields that are allowing you to have repetitive patterns in your life, right? So now we're going to talk about something that's really, really important to me. And it's one of my favorite subjects in the world. It is the divine feminine and the divine masculine. And when you understand the divine and energy, everybody has masculine and feminine energies. It's not a he, she thing. It is, some people embody more of a masculine. Some people embody more of a feminine energies. All of us have both. And all of those actually need to be in line and in balance. Going back, way in history, this is the yin and yang energies. If you want to, need to know anything, it is the dark and the light. It is the good and the bad. It's always a polar opposite energy, right? And so the divine masculine energies, when they are out of balance, it shows up as anger. It shows up as aggression. It shows up as sadness. I mean, it shows up deeply, deeply wounded masculine energies. And honestly, our society's in the wounded masculine right now. The wounded feminine shows up as very needy. It shows up as codependent. It shows up as emotionally unstable and chaotic, right? And so when those paradigms or people are showing up in your life as that, or you're showing up in your life as that means that basically those energies are out of balance. The divine masculine is just that, right? It is chivalrous. It is strength. It is motivation. It is action. It is inspired action, not just taking action to take action, right? It's not the grind. It is inspired action. The divine feminine is creative. It's nature. It is intuitive. It is coming home, right? It is softer. And when you are not in those energies, or someone around you are not in those energies, you have those in your energetic grid. Primarily, going back to your childhood, primarily because of your parents. And I want you to evaluate how your parents were. Were they in the divine masculine? Were they in the divine feminine? Were there a balance of masculine and feminine energies in your home? What did love look like in your home? What did money look like in your home? What did health look like in your home? What did, were your parents there? Were your parents not there? That's the starting point for you to heal, is in that space. From that space, you can understand that you are a grown adult and you don't have to make a childish conscious decision anymore, meaning that you are not 4 years old going back to the wounds, right? You're going back as an observer. You're going back to see what is actually the pattern, so you can choose a different pattern. I'm not saying it's going to shift overnight. Yes, when you actually do the energetic work, it's just a lot faster than just when you're doing the neural net pathway work, right? So the mindset work it works tremendously. It's just a harder, longer journey. When you do the mindset and the quantum work, that's when it taps into your deep energetic fields, your belief systems. And when you go in and you collapse time and space and you recreate your story in your mind, you change the energy, you transmute the energy from a lower vibration to a higher frequency. So how do you do that, right? You understand the stories, you go back, you do the inner work, you act as if you were a parent, you reparent yourself with your inner child. You establish a relationship with fear, you establish a relationship with anger, you establish a relationship with your emotional triggers, knowing that the contrast is truly to teach you that you are contracted, right? And when you are contracted, it is the starting point of you being at your desire as soon as you notice the contrast. Meaning that if the pattern is showing up over and over and over again, that means that you didn't have an awareness of the contrast of what the lesson was for you. To get to your sacred contract, you have to go through all of the soul contracts, the divine masculine and the divine feminine. To get to the balanced divine masculine and feminine energies, many times you have to go through the soul contracts of the wounded masculine or the wounded feminine, and you have to transmute the energy within you to a higher frequency. You have to literally come to acceptance with whatever happened to you. Then you have to come to forgiveness for the situation, the person, and then eventually to yourself. Once you're at forgiveness, you can soften. And that's where you can balance your energies. That's where you can start to say, wow, I actually love this person that for 7 years, I had him in the wounded masculine with my dad. He was in the same part of my grid as my dad. My dad definitely did not have a good vibration with. So And I want you to do this with money. I want you to do this with your job. I want you to do this with your children. Where are they on your grid? Are they in a space that's in the wounded masculine? Are they in a space that's in the wounded feminine? Because I promise you, I found forgiveness with my dad. And when I found forgiveness finally with my dad and my granddad, my grandpa, I finally moved them into a divine masculine energies, meaning that I did it for me. I didn't do it for their souls. I didn't do anything for healing. I did it for me to find acceptance for whoever he was. He was teaching me a greatest version of me. I wouldn't be teaching you guys today if I didn't have an alcoholic dad that was abusive, and my grandfather didn't die in front of me, and I didn't go through all of these things in life. There was thousands, and I was sexually abused, all of the things I couldn't teach from the wounded space. What I could teach from was the healed, embodied space, empowered space, right? So what I want you to do is I want you to understand that you have a choice. You make a conscious choice to look at your grid. You make a conscious choice to first look at your triggers, then go back and reparent yourself as an inner and heal your inner child. Then get to forgiveness from there as soft as you can. If not, get to acceptance, because at least you can accept that the contrast was teaching your soul something for expansion. From that space, your sacred contracts, which is your destiny, your divine purpose of why you went through all of that is behind all of that, right? You don't have to go through your pain as your purpose. Yes, that's a big thing for me. Yet you don't have to go through the pain over and over and over and over again. You just have to learn the lesson, what it's teaching you. When you understand that, and again, guys, and I'm using Mark a lot, and thanks, Mark, for sorry I'm using you today, but I had him in the same space as my father. So I had subconsciously and unconsciously, I had negative feelings towards him. And I was relating him to my father, who was an abusive alcoholic. And Mark's an amazing human. And our relationship couldn't get past a certain point. He couldn't get past a certain point in my subconscious because he was in my grid with my dad. And then I moved both of them into the divine masculine, and it's been wonderful and beautiful. Again, your reality is an illusion. Everything that is showing up in your life is a paradigm of your grid. You're looking through the eyes of your grid, right? I don't care who it is. I want you to choose one person or one thing. Money. Do the same exact thing with money. What's your belief system around money? Where is it? Is it in the divine masculine, and is it in the divine feminine, right? I moved my money my money was in the wounded masculine of I had to work really, really, really hard, and I was grinding, and I'm a CEO, and I'm a soccer mom, and I have a relationship, and I run retreats, and I did a lot, and I was exhausted, and it got burnt out. So I moved my money into the divine feminine, and it flows to me. I just got a call literally right before I got on. I had a client, somebody referring a client to me. I did nothing other than just being me, right? And I'm not saying that you don't have to do nothing to make money, but that's the flow. You move your money into wherever you feel on your grid you need it to be. But mine was in my wounded masculine. I made a lot of money. Society's making a lot of money in the wounded masculine. They're doing a lot of things in the wounded masculine, but they're not moved into the divine feminine, which is ease and flow, right? And that's where we're moving into. So take a subject in your life, take one at a time, because you can't work on everything at once, guys. It's too much to work on everything at once. Take one subject in your life. I want you to be aware, have an awareness. Emotional intelligence leads to, spiritual maturity. Have an awareness of what that trigger is for you. Oh, I get triggered when? Go even deeper. Keep going. Keep asking why. What is this? What is behind the fear? Is it I'm not worthy? I'm not good enough. I'm not safe, secure, and protected. I'm not lovable. I'm not whole and complete. Find the NLP stuff. Go even deeper into the psychology aspect of it and heal your inner child. Reparent your inner child. From that space, I want you to look at your energy grid. How does this person make me feel? I feel depleted. I feel contracted. I feel unworthy. I feel like I'm in a power struggle. Okay, Write down all of the feelings, right? Because it's energy. It's just energy. Look on your grid, go into meditation, quiet your mind, go for a walk in nature, pet your dog, go mountain biking, do whatever you have to do. Look at your energetic grid. Where do you have that person? Do you have them in the wounded masculine or the wounded feminine? Do you have them in the divine masculine? Do you have them in the divine feminine? Do you have them in the same grid as your parents? Do you have them in the same grid as something negative? Move your grids around energetically and see how that works. I promise you guys that when you do the inner work, your outer world will change. I promise you guys that when you understand that you are a vibratory field and that there is an infinite field of possibilities that you can tap into, your desires that you want you. Everything you are seeking is seeking you, and it already exists. You ask, and this is Esther Hicks 101. You ask and it is given, right? You ask God, source, the universe, and say, I want to be better in this way. And they speak frequency, right? So they're going to show you, the universe is going to show you exactly where your frequency is. Okay, you want to be a billionaire? Let me show you where you're in lack. Oh, okay, you want to be married? Let me show you where you need work before you actually do that. When you understand that the contrast is there to show you that what you want is already seeking you. And it loves you so much. You have the energy that loves you and creates worlds within inside of you. You are a divine force energy in a physical body. When you understand that you can manipulate time and space and you can manipulate your reality and you co-create your reality. This doesn't work for me. I have conversations with God all the time. Me and God are like good. Like I'll be like, God, this doesn't really work for me. Okay, you need to give me the answers to this. And sometimes the answers that show up, I don't like the answers. Like Amy's wedding. I didn't like the answer, but I needed to do the work, right? When you have a relationship with yourself, your highest self, with God, source, and the universe, it will show you because it is seeking you. You came here in this physical body to expand. And I promise you that if you don't expand, your experience will be in contraction. And that is where life gets painful. That's where society is today. If you don't do the inner work and take accountability for you, you cannot take accountability for the world. Don't try to save the world at a low vibration. You're not going to save the world at a low vibration. Do you want to save the world? Go in and change your vibration. Go in and do your inner work. Go in and change what you have to change. And I promise one person in alignment is 1,000 times, 1,000,000 times more powerful than somebody that is not. You go in and you change your vibration. You go in and you change your alignment and you become the person that you know you're supposed to be. That changes worlds. That changes worlds. Guys, if you want to go further, I have 2 retreats that are coming up. You can go to noelleagape.com, Soul on Fire Retreats. We are going to Tulum in January and we're going to Costa Rica in March. I promise you guys, these retreats will change your life. They basically, literally, we go in and we mind hack, we energy hack, we body hack, we biohack. We do everything in a week. They're all inclusive. They are life-changing events. You get to go and you get to be the highest version of yourself and you will be changed forever. The Soul on Fire retreats are there and they're designed for, I woke up one day and I was like, God, okay, I can't keep doing what I'm doing. I have so much going on. I have so many programs. I built a multi-million-dollar platform and it's just sitting there. What should I do? And God said, you need to run retreats, right? Because I love adventure. I love meditation. And he said, you need to change as many lives as you can. Get on a platform that you can change as many lives as you can, because the more that people do the inner work, the more it changes humanity. Guys, I promise you, the second that you say yes to you and you start to do the inner work, go to my YouTube channel. I have probably 500 videos there on how to manipulate your energy. Life happens. You get to decide if it's good enough or worthy enough, or if your destiny is calling. If you don't heed the call, humanity needs you more than ever. Humanity needs you to understand that you are so powerful. You are so light. You are so loved. if you looked inside of you and saw what your inner being sees, they would see happiness. They would see joy. They would see love. They would see light. I promise you guys that when you do the inner work, you're not saving anyone. Every post, if you are an influencer and you're posting things that are negative, you're emanating negative things out into the world, period. If you are just an average person and you're posting anything negative, you're emanating negative. Do the inner work. Start with you and then go from a place of light and love and wisdom and bring that out to the world. Because I promise you that your anger is rooted within you. And that anger is getting emanated out as a vibrational frequency to the world. How do you change humanity? You change you. Go to noelleagape.com and please like and share and subscribe if this resonates with you. Even more so, share this out to the world because we want as many people as we can to change their vibration. It's a choice. Your vibratory fields are there to teach you. Your internal guidance system is showing you. You are love. You are light. You are powerful. You are a gift to this world. If you are not using your gifts, you're a disservice to you, to your family, and to humanity. The more that I can influence you to be the best version of you, no one is going to change you but you. When you make that choice and when you understand that it is your God-given right, it is your birthright to be the best version of you. It is why you came here. Your soul came here during this time. Your soul chose to be here to learn these lessons, to expand from the contrast, to experience this life, to raise the frequency of this planet, to save humanity. And you can. You have that power within you. You are more powerful than you ever know. The energy of that creates worlds is inside of you. It is loving you. I am loving you. I'm pouring love into you today to let you know how light you are, how loved you are, how worthy you are. Every aspect of you is here on purpose, for purpose. You are a gift. And when you embody that you are a gift to this world and to God, source, the universe, God is experienced through you. And when you understand that, there is no stopping you. You are more powerful than you'll ever know. I love you so much, and I will see you guys in the next video.